It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and day 4 in Pacific Beach. Today is gravel, or we're just talking about gravel, basalt day. This rock here isn't one that we typically use a lot. It's really pricey, but it's really interesting too. It's a black kind of jagged, between a quarter and a half an inch, and it is all over in this garden. Because of the dogs, they don't want me to do layers or combination rock. They just want to keep it one type. So that's what we're doing. You can see that all the free plants are gone. Thank you all so much. And how she has put Aeonium urbicums down along here. These were plants that she was just trying to get rid of. And clearly they love it, as do all the plants in Christine's garden, and have taken off. Up here, this was a big deal. This area down here where we took the arborescence out and installed the barrel cactus, it wasn't as simple as that. It wasn't just about removing one plant and putting in another. We had a lot of grading to do here. This is so steep, and there was so much soil. And then where do we put the soil? So the guys spent hours and hours and hours excavating extra soil, moving around into other areas of the garden where we could make some undulations with it. Then we came back, and one piece of rubble at a time, Nate and Hannah dry stacked this to create a berm so that when we do basalt this, it doesn't run right down into the fence. They did a really, really nice job of that. So we have the gabion wall here, which is really cool. And then above it, our homeowner has agreed that this is just gonna stay specimen. We're gonna keep a lot of space in between the plants, and that's just gonna be how it is. And I'm here for that. So as we move up, we've been continuing today to pull weeds, to pull out crassulas. Now, like this piece here, this piece of Crassula orbiculata, you can see all these little pups growing down on the stem. So I'm just gonna cut that right above those little pieces, make a hole right next to it with my handy dandy multi-tool. And then I'm going to stick this cutting right there. And effectively what I have done is concealed that wound and created a second plant and got rid of all that legginess. So, goodness, yes, you could spend all day just in probably
look at that weed, that big one.
A 6-foot section of this garden. Hannah's all, look at that weed. Yep. Here we go.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that.
You weren't even talking about this one?
No.
Seaweed, pull a weed. Oh, here's a pepper tree. We
Look
definitely
right
don't want that.
Oh. Right in front of your face.
Oh, a broadleaf. Boop. Uh-oh. Yeah, there. We said uh-oh because all of the little spores just went into the garden. So give the homeowner something to do there. So you can see that Greg is installing and repairing lights. Since we've made modifications to the garden, the lights have to be considered too, and oftentimes adjustments need to be made. Same with the irrigation. So all the areas here where you see dirt, we're going to be tossing down that pretty basalt rock. Our client has such a green thumb, and she appreciates all different medium and type of plants. Some of you have commented on her beautiful staghorn ferns. She mounts these herself, grows them. Staghorns love banana peels and coffee grounds. If you want to stick those down inside the cups, they enjoy that. And the tillandsias, you asked how these were mounted. And if Hannah gets up kind of close, you can see that they basically are just stuck into chicken wire because these are air plants. So they do not require any soil or medium with which to grow and thrive. And Christine's got a really beautiful collection of tillandsia to enjoy. So we are 99.3% done. Just a couple of little detail things we need to come back and handle. This area here, which was, rough this week. Love the retention that the guys created. The rock's going to stay put now. Greg has got some lights installed, 3 up lights right here, but this is a hot mess. So I'm going to send a couple of people back to excavate all of the basalt rock, and we're going to do a gray stabilized decomposed granite in between the joints to cover the dirt. I wasn't prepared for that today, so that's going to happen next week. But yeah, no big deal. Again, the Lakeland Terriers, this is a racetrack for them. Every time someone walks by with a dog, they're back and forth. So we just need to, tighten this up just a little more. Take a look at how this Diamondia is doing here. It's very shady, if that tells you anything. And it gets irrigated from overhead spray. That's another important point. On this side slope, they've got MP rotators, that really water efficient rotating overhead spray to take care of the slope. We started with the basalt in here and aborted because we didn't like it.
The plants are gonna grow.
Yeah, the plants are gonna grow. You're not gonna see the rock anyway. This is very expensive rock, and it just looked a little heavy and unnatural. So, solution, when we come back to do the DG, we're going to bring some Maruschia, which the client loves and is growing very successfully in the back. We can get it, that's Diamondia. We can, we'll see if I don't think she has any down here, but this Delospermum too, could also work. She's got that growing in here, but she really prefers the Ruchia. So we'll get some 1-gallon cans from Oasis, and we'll divide them, and we'll just pop Ruchia plugs in where you see dirt, and all will be well with the world. So, you gotta be flexible, and I'm so thankful to our wonderful client that she's so understanding. Many of the plants here we also pulled out, cut, and reset because they were getting a little leggy. Oh, somebody's clippers.
She's been out here working too.
Yes, she has. I think she might have left her clippers. There we go. This area here under the deck, lovely. And again, this is not the place to put a clunky rock. And you know me, I don't like dirt showing, but even I have my limits where that's concerned. Remember, the first good rule of design is it needs to make sense. And putting a bunch of rock in here just doesn't. So we'll just have a little bit of patience and let these plants fill in. It'll be fine. This is stunning. I just love how this area turned out here. This was such a hot mess when we had that McDouglii in here. We brought in rubble. Monique, our volunteer this week, was phenomenal. This was all her work. She has such a good eye. We appreciated her so much. All of our volunteers were super duper. Here is, maybe you can see it from up there, Hannah. There's some DG down here. This is kind of what we've got in mind for in between the joints. This is not as fine as I like. This is a little bit thicker, and I don't think it's stabilized. So we'll get a fine stabilized kind for over on the other side. We also top dressed all of the pots, and I don't know, did we see those pots earlier?
Not really.
I don't think so. Yeah, so we've got some really cool specimens in Christine's beautiful blue pots. Super happy with those. The top dressing rock, we used a little burgundy. We used some black shiny polished pebble, and then we've got some of that crushed jade in some of the pots as well. I did a little work on this trigona. I limbed it up, laced it out a little. It looks much better, much more balanced. Greg installed a light here on this fountain, and we got all of our irrigation buried and all of the lights restaged. This
That looks so much better.
Yes, this, you probably remembered seeing that yesterday. This Argentina sunset was just all over the place, and Monique came in and cut and reset all of that. It looks so nice. Mel's tapestry is beautiful. You can see that our client has come in behind us and staged all of her beautiful glass balls. I asked her to do the honors because she has such a great eye for that. Here's some Russia, right here. And some down here at this corner as well. Yeah, and now that the fruit trees have been exposed, we've been talking a lot about them. Now that I am the fruit tree expert, thanks to your guys and your help with my lemon tree, I've encouraged her to get some Espoma organic citrus fertilizer that's worked so well for me at your suggestion, as well as some Epsom salts too. That really worked to green up the leaves of my trees. Both your guys and your suggestions. I think that these Cameronia are already more red just after one day. They are in here as cuttings. They're going to be fine. We've got our Buddha staged. Oh yes, and we planted the beautiful big piece of aloe in that blue pot, and it looks so good in there. I mean, who knew? It laying on the ground, I wasn't feeling that at all, but once we got it in the pot, it is so structural and interesting. I'm just loving that. Yeah. We're just winding up, but I'll take you to the front and you can enjoy this beautiful shady section, all nice and tightened up. All of our beautiful staghorns and gasterias and bromeliads.
We'll see you next week. You gonna be with her?
Okay. And here's the Lord of the Manor. Hey, Frank.
He has your check.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Our Lord and our Lady. We're just wrapping up our video.
Yeah? Oh, I didn't know you were over here. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I thought you were done.
And here, got our balls all staged. It looks so, so pretty. Hey, Finn.
He's absolutely he's trying to kill bees.
Yes, and this corn cob cactus with the burgundy lava. I just love that there. Super cool. So yes, we will be sure to bring you along next week when we do the final touches. But in the meantime, thank you so much for all of your support, your subscriptions, your likes, your comments, and your shares. This has been Laura Eubanks reporting for Design for Serenity in Pacific Beach with your grand reveal, semi, and your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.